So we talked about the product process matrix, and that relates to manufacturing. Okay. And we talked about inventory strategies and all manufacturing. Now we're going to take a look at another concept that applies to services, right? So we talked a little bit about that in previous videos. Most of you and a big part of the economy is based on services, right? So how does that relationship works in terms of service? Okay. So the first thing to understand is that services have two different sides. So we have what we call the front office, and we have what we call the back office. Okay, and here we have an example from Walmart about 10 years ago. That was this article, but you have to think about, Walmart is a huge retail store, right? Have hundreds of and thousands of different locations, right? And what we consider front office is the part of the business where you as a customer you get in, right? So you get in and you visit and you pick up your products, in this case, and in the Walmart store, right, where they have their products in their shelves and freezers and all that, and cashiers and all that, right? But there's a big part of Walmart that you don't see, which is what we call the back office, right? So to make sure that you have all these little products there on the right spot, guess what? They don't only have this inventory here, right? They have another part of that Walmart store where they store all the products, right? So have their inventory that have to be transported from that inventory place to the shelf, and then you pick up the products on the shelves, right? Other than that, they also have to have, and this again, data from 10 years ago, but they had at that time 8,000 drivers, 53,000 trailers, and more than 7,000 tractors to move things around, right? Just to make sure that you receive the product and the product is ready for you. So you as a customer, you only see the last part, right, before you pick up from the shelf, but that product was made maybe in another country or maybe in another part of the United States and have to be moved, have to be stored, have to go from one place to another, be transported by different companies and so forth, so on, until it gets to that Walmart store and then inventory, and then from the inventory it goes to the shelf, right? So that's the difference of back office and front office. Okay, so front office is what the customer interacts and have contact with, and back office is where you don't have customer contact. Okay, so then we come to this matrix, right? So as I said, as we have the product process matrix that talks about volume versus flexibility, or volume versus customization, the customer contact matrix is the same thing, but in a version specifically for services, right? So you have here activities that are more front office, activities that are more back office, and activities that are more like hybrid, have more of one thing or more of another thing, right? So you can think of different examples of business, and find out if they're more front office or they're more back office, right? So think about, you're going to buy an electronic, right? So if you're going to buy an electronic, what options do you have? Like a TV or a laptop, cell phone, whatever, right? So you can go to a Best Buy, for example, and then you'll see the product, you touch, you kind of ask questions to someone there, and then and get some good insights and blah blah blah. Or you can go online, Amazon.com. Everybody knows that. And you can read the reviews, but they're kind of limited in the information. You can Google some stuff. But you cannot, see the product and look at the quality and touch it, and kind of have some limitations there, right? And you can compare those two businesses and into this matrix, right? So what would Amazon be? More like back office or more like front office? So we know that Amazon is more like a back office, right? The only front office is the website. That's the only thing that you can touch, but really don't have any interaction, right, with people. And if we think about Best Buy, then they're a lot more front office, right? You go, there's the big store. You can go around and look at the products and all that, right? How does that affect their business? Well, Amazon has very, a huge amount of different products, right, that they can offer, where Best Buy is limited by their space, right? So you can create a lot more volume. Sorry, if you're in a back office operation, right? In a front office operation, you have a lower volume, a limited number of people that they can see there, a limited number of people that they can hold, limited number of different variations they can have. But there's a lot of customer contact, a lot of flexibility that goes on into this, right? And because of that, they have to pay actually more. They have a higher cost, Best Buy, than Amazon, because Best Buy, where's the Best Buys here, right, in Columbia? I know one. I live here in Irmo, near the lake, not that close. It's 5 minutes away. And then there is a Best Buy here in Columbiana Mall, and it's a very expensive location, right? In the middle of Columbiana Mall, they have to pay premium price and rent and all that. If you compare to Amazon, where do you guys know where Amazon warehouse is? It's in West Columbia, not a very fancy, not a very good looking neighborhood, near 20 and 26 there, so they can take both and go to 77. Also pretty quick on the south, kind of east, southwest of Columbia. Uh, and it's a place where they're close to the highways and they can move things around. They receive from different other places, and it's also easy to distribute into the city, right? But they have a very cheap rent, and it's a huge facility. They can be a lot bigger than Best Buy. So they gain a lot on that volume and low cost, right? So low, but with a less customized service, right? So this is important to understand about this process product matrix. If I go more in the front office, I will have a high customization and lower volume. If I go to back office operations, I have a high volume but very low customer contact, very low customer customization. And most of the times I cannot be one or another, somehow in the middle here where I have part which is front office and part which is back office. Okay.